Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Alex Wong, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be going over why 99% of cold emails never end up working out. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to show you the exact 1% strategies and internal decisions that we are currently taking right now to get that result for ourselves and for our clients. So let's get right into that. So, if you aren't familiar with who I am, as I mentioned, I'm Alexander Wong. I'm the CEO of Dulce, and I've helped B2B service-based businesses like yours add $30,000 in monthly recurring revenue, $25,000, $50,000 in just a few weeks with cold email. Today, I'm going to show you why your cold emails fail to get meetings and exactly how to avoid those mistakes. Stick with me because this is the exact system that I've used for my high-ticket clients to book 98 meetings in 30 days before. Let's get into it. So, first things first, let's understand why smart business owners still struggle with outbound. Outbound is a difficult field to navigate, and you need to make sure that you have all the right resources in your head, that you're a part of the right groups, a part of the right communities, so that when you go into this, you have all the knowledge, information, and efforts to be able to help you succeed. So, majority of business owners that I talk to, especially in the B2B space, are always fed up with cold email. They say cold email never works, cold email sucks, it doesn't work for me. And sometimes they might be sending hundreds of emails, maybe doing probably maybe a couple thousands, but ultimately they think it sucks or that it doesn't work because they don't get anything back. That's, I could tell you everything today about technicals and setups, but ultimately it's the ROI that you're going to generate. So if you get no replies, or if you get no interest, if you get no replies, or if you're going to spam and you're getting no meetings, sometimes not even a rejection, just silence or whatever the case may be, you're going to just immediately dump it in the trash. And from what I've seen of this pattern time and time again with these sophisticated business owners who, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking any credibility away from their work efforts, but just sometimes outbound requires you to have that different level of mindset and understanding. And I've seen this from anyone making 10K a month, 5K a month, to 200K a month, to 300K a month, all within that range. And they have the revenue and they have the proofs of concept, but outbound just doesn't work for them. Okay? And they get it. And I was definitely there as well. Before I started Dulce, I remember I used to do door-to-door, knocking on restaurants, trying to, book meetings at the time is what it was. And then I got into outbound and I was doing hey, your website could use an improvement. We've all been there, right? So in this video, I'm going to walk you through now the 3 biggest reasons why most cold emails fail, and most importantly, the fix for each one so you can start booking these meetings consistently. Now, let's talk about the real reasons why cold emails fail, all right? Number 1, your emails are not actually personalized. As you know, when I started Dulce, ChatGPT wasn't a thing yet. No one even knew what that was. So now this is such an evolved landscape where you have GPT, Claude, Perplexity, DeepSeek, you have Gemini, you have, I'll go on and on. The point being is that it has gotten a lot harder. There's a lot of newer tools that could send more emails, that could do more at scale, that could personalize. And sometimes I've written just manual emails to people and they said this is AI garbage, right? Which is ultimately so confusing nowadays because you're stuck inside of the zone of I could write it manually and put all my effort into it, but then people still call it AI. So first thing is just to get over the hurdle of real good personalization, because this is the biggest issue by far. A lot of companies are blasting at generic messages and hoping that something clicks, right? Stuff saying, hey, I saw your company online, let's chat, or hey, John, if you are just taking a guess at what they're doing, it just ultimately is not working that way. And let's be honest, it's not going to cut it whatsoever. And that's because your prospect, if you got to think about it in their perspective, you might want to write an email however you feel is right for your brand and business, but there's a certain aspect you have to go about it, and it's literally the difference maker between getting results and not getting results. That's how big the gap is. 100 meetings, 0 meetings. All right, just for these simple live formats. And I have time and time again, whereas unfortunately I've had some clients leave because they just didn't understand that expectation of, hey, here's how I wrote the cold email, I don't like it. It's nothing about my brand. I want my company name in there. I want to introduce myself, and I just tell them that's not what works. And then they insist on running it, and then it doesn't work. I'm not going to take that away, though there is some times, or maybe it does, just off the rare off chance. But the point being of this conversation is that you might have an understanding of how you need it to work, and that's not what it's going to get you in terms of success. Now, you followed the right steps that I showcased today, you're going to see instantly why this positioning is way better and why simply myself and my clients dominate the cold outreach space, right? And once again, this isn't a guess and I didn't make this up, or this isn't just off the cuff. This is something that I've mastered from every email that I ever sent out. to getting to the point where I'm at now, because guess what? People are getting smarter and they can spot templates and understand, all right, this is a cold email. And that might not even be a bad case. That's not the problem. The problem is you got to have something valuable. So let's talk about that. So how we focus on hyper personalization at scale, okay? Two things. The biggest thing I say about cold email out of everything, every single thing you could imagine, the records, the setting up, whatever. Having a good offer is going to be your main point, 100%. It's about how you communicate your value to market. That's ultimately what it comes down to, which I'll showcase some examples below. The point, though, is your creativity. Your creativity is going to be beyond everything else that you can do, because time and time again, I've guaranteed you looked up what's the best cold email scripts, or what's the best way to do this, what's the best way to do that, but then ultimately you learn that there is no best way. And then guess what? You're spending all this time on indecisiveness, which isn't going to move the needle. So here are the two factions. One, for inbox marketing, right, we want to make sure that we focus on relevance and precision. So very short script, usually less than 75 words. I almost should update this, is less than 50 words now. And it speaks directly to that one specific problem in person and introduces a partial solution. So if you're creating cold email campaigns, taking owner, founder, CEO, CMO, COO, director, head, marketing, manager, whatever the case may be, and you are just taking that and throwing it into your campaign and writing your copy, you've already lost. You're already lost, because guess what? Unless you've already separated the people who are supposed to be receiving it and write the copy specifically for them, it's not going to work. And what I mean by that is, I'm the owner, CEO, founder here at Dulce. Okay, if you want to talk about improving some portion of my sales cycle, right, that would be for my head of sales, or might be something more for my CSM. Okay, so just saying out of this case scenario, my shoes, that maybe I'm not as intrigued in that day-to-day problem like they would be, right? So same fashion here. Now let me relate it back to you guys. If I am the founder of the company and I want to save money, or I want to get processed, or I want to make better deals, yeah, those are good. Those are good to point out and pitch off to me. But if I'm targeting a different role, those same key aspects just simply are not going to matter. So we want to make sure that whatever problem that job title is receiving, that we are out there offering a solution to them. Now, the other one is going to be the outer box marketing, which is, as I mentioned previously, where the creativity comes in. This is about the intrigue. Get them to keep reading. This is textbook copywriting, right? This is not just slam a cold email script or template and say, I hope this works. This is understanding who you're emailing. It's same thing as ads, breaking them down into personas. Is this person a male, female predominantly? Is it that they are stuck at 10 to 20K? Are they tired of not making money? Or are they a bit on the younger side, a bit on the older side, right? All these different things. Do they most likely own a house, not own a house? And it all just goes, all these different factors all just go into the decision-making process. And we overthink it because it's 1 to 2 sentences to email. And really, you have to just keep that in mind, because when you understand the market, your buyer, and the emotional journey that goes with it, again, I keep saying this, even if it's a 2-sentence email, you have to make them stop scrolling, keep reading, and wonder why this could be intriguing for me. And this is the biggest part, because some people just kind of cap their mental space where they think, okay, I think this might be good enough, where we all have the same overall concept, right? We want people to buy from us, and we can't hide from the fact that it is a cold email. But again, we want to make it so good that the person receiving it feels stupid for saying no. So everyone is having this overall philosophy here. And then now we need to think above that, because guess what? If I'm trying to create a cold email campaign that's, hey, John, I noticed you here. We've helped company get results such as this one. Mind if I send over a video explaining? Let's say I'm doing that for paid ad agency. What makes you not think that cold email agency A, B, C, and D are not also doing that for the off chance they also have paid ad client A, B, C, and D? So what I mean that they're already thinking like that. Even though that works really well, and in essence, the game winners are not done in that style. So I'll use this example for you guys to be vivid clear, and I ripped this right from our cold email campaign. So if you're in this space, steal it. For one client in our influencer space, we reference their job role. We reference that they used influencer marketing. We tied it to a pain point around needing top exclusive influencers in their space, and basically just offered to send them a list, right? In this singular campaign, one single campaign, first campaign, by the way, that we tested was a $470,000 in potential revenue campaign. Now, off the top of my head, it's still ongoing, so I want to ballpark it like 20K in sales. But this booked 94 plus meetings, right? And that was high name, I saw a company uses influencer talent to showcase the best of personal. So this could be New England Patriots, or I saw Nike uses influencer talent, right? Examples of that. Personal would be a variable we would put in here about what they're using influencer marketing for. So you can create something like this in Clay with ClayGen. It's very, very easy to do so. You just prompt it saying like, hey, take a look at these social media, these big brands, and we're reaching out to job titles who do influencer marketing. So it would make logical sense to reach out to them about that talent. So in this specific version, I actually probably should edit this. In this specific version, I didn't mention that they're a job title, but I would even say, hey, name. We could put A here. B. I noticed you are the head of influencer marketing at company, and you guys are using it to showcase the best of personal, right? You can even take this down a level. You could say, I even noticed you were the right person who handles influencer marketing at company, right? So whatever angle you want to go, there's so many different ways you can spin it up, because that was a part of the A and B test. But the idea is that, hey, I noticed you're the right person who handles influencer marketing companies, and that you guys are using it to showcase the best of personal. Because again, the whole idea with personalization, like, please don't get hung up on this, because it's really going to be about the offer. I am almost guarantee you, like, most cold email campaigns that have worked on me, such as like people sending cold emails to me, I've responded to a ton of them. I mean, hey, I even have I've been closed off of cold email campaigns before. So multiple times. So it's not something, I see it work firsthand. I know it works. I do it. And when it comes back to this, I don't think that any of them pulled up like this miracle thing about me on LinkedIn or Instagram or my website, right? So when I talk about personalization, okay, right, it should be some fashion of this is why I'm reaching out. You don't see it here on this camera angle, but I have it on my board, right? The 3 steps is right offer, right time, personalized piece of why now? Like, why are you reaching out now? And to who and what? Why me? Why them? Right? I noticed you're the right contact who handles this at company. So at this point, you read that and you're just not 100% certain, saying, oh, am I being pitched, or is this, a client or something that has to say something, or saying could be relevant to what we handle on the fulfillment side, right? Whatever the deal may be. So the idea is just get them intrigued here. And then I can add an additional piece here, because this was a nice touch. I saw showcases the best of, right? Nike is, track athletics and things like that. So whatever the AI filled in there, but that would be an example. We've helped brands like case study, and these were huge. I think this was like Amazon Prime and YouTube or something of that nature. Or if this is about Nike, then it would be like Adidas or Lululemon. We've helped brands such as those two run influencer campaigns across the XXX and X industries. So that would be fashion, apparel, athletics, whatever variations of that you could come up with. And if you could get deeper than that, then get deeper than that, right? I've had some clients in the fashion industry who we go to golfing apparel. Imagine you got a cold email saying, hey, I noticed you do influencer marketing at company. We've helped brands like Golf Company and Golf Company run influencer campaigns to the golf apparel industry, and I have exclusive, I wouldn't make it as long, but I have exclusive influencers who specialize in that space. Do you want to take a look at that? I guarantee you they're going to say yes, just simply because of I didn't do no crazy personalization. It was just they're the right title at the right company. I've worked with 2 big name companies that they would instantly recognize, and it's specifically for what they do. Mind if I send over some people who specialize in that? And that's it. Mind if I send over some influencers from our exclusive talent roster? That's it, all right? And then we do the process of selling through the thread. We say like, great. Well, here's a couple examples I think might be a good fit. And for influencer marketing, there's a possibility if they're already running it, you can close off of just email alone. But again, I always like to position it for the meeting. Okay. So what actually makes people reply now is you want to make sure that the email feels like it was written just for them. This is not about sending more emails. It's about sending better ones. Check their LinkedIn, look at their site, reference a recent post if it's relevant. I want to keep saying this. If it's relevant, time and time again, I'm seeing people, for example, I got this one cold email. This guy's like, hey, Alex, I noticed you guys have 52 different databases that you're currently using for AI omni-channel outreach across multiple channels that you've built in-house. And I read that, I'm just saying like, I get it, buddy. You used AI to like pull something from my website and try to pretend it's personal, but I see right through that. Okay. And then you want to mention that real challenge, right? What do they struggle with? They struggle with finding proper influencers who specialize in their industry, right? That's why I said break it down, because we've had people like, oh, apparel influencers. What if I told you you had a golf apparel influencer specifically for you, a golfing brand? It then hits, right? Now, by the way, if you're a B2B service-based business and you don't want to have to deal with coming up these angles, scraping the list, or putting it all together and tired of figuring this out alone, then I'm more than happy to hop on a call with you. At Dulce, what we do here is we handle that entire process for you. Systems, campaigns, booking in the meetings, straight to your calendar. And these are the same systems that I've used to add our clients 30,000, 25,000, 50,000, 15,000 MRR across various different marketing-esque industries, all within a couple weeks, and built pipelines worth hundreds of thousands. So click the link below. Let's book in a time to chat and see if we're a good fit. All right, reason number 2, your technical setup is killing your deliverability. So I know I just made a video on this before, but I want to reiterate it again. Back-end mistakes nobody talks about. Most people keep making these same mistakes over and over and over. And I get you want to do more and you want to keep it easy and simple, but there's just some set up processes in stage 1 that you have to take care of, right? Again, you want to send 10 to 15 emails per day, no more, okay? 30 and 50 is 2023. That's not today. What we do differently. I've had clients come to me where domains were burned, email accounts weren't working, and everyone's having this issue. Guys, I have not had an issue with spam for almost 2 years now. 2 years I've not had a problem with spam. I don't even think about that on the daily, right? And these people come to me with all these busted up accounts and issues because they don't follow these simple steps that I'm gonna tell you below, okay? So we're very transparent about it. 2 inboxes per account to protect your deliverability, okay? No more than that. You wanna use direct reseller accounts. I'll even put that in here. Direct reseller accounts. No EDU, no SMTP. You don't want any of that stuff, guys, because guess what? It's just, it's accepting risk for a slightly cheaper price. And these aren't even that expensive. If you compare Google and Outlook, they're charging $8.40 right now per account. You can easily get this for even like $2 some inside of Agency Ignition. And you get that setup all done for you. Wait, you don't know what Agency Ignition is? Now, if you actually don't know what Agency Ignition is, it's the biggest project I've launched of the year. So this is our platform for agency owners who are looking to start and grow with cold outbound specifically. And I give you everything that I've used internally to do so for a fraction of what just one of the tools would cost. Let me show you that. So for only our $397 a month, you can get free access. So no proxies, you don't pay per use. You can use it as many times as you want to 25 plus different scrapers. Built with is already 400 some bucks. It's already cheaper than that. You get store leads, Clutch, Agency Vista, Google My Business, Yellow Pages, Getlocka, and just so on. All the socials, Yelp, Crunchbase. You also get 50 hours of exclusive course material that teaches you everything from AI agents to cold email to LinkedIn outreach to personal brands. You get 3 group coaching calls per week. You get a community of lead gen experts in any niche and a ton of different plug and plays, from 10 hours of real sales calls that I've closed people on, VSL templates, landing page templates, hiring templates, AI employee templates. And then you also get access to a ton of different tools to help you, such as your format company name. You don't want LLC and stuff in your cold emails. You're losing off the bat. Job title formatting, CSV breaking, waterfall sequencing to find more emails, testing your deliverability, and exclusive access to our strategist community, 24/7 priority access to myself and my team, and more. Now, you also get everything from our apprentice plan. So this is if you want to be a little more conservative. On our $197 month plan, you get access to the community, 1 weekly group coaching call, base access to curriculum, access to all of our partnerships that we've secured, to giving you over $5,000 worth of discounts on cheap inboxes, premium inboxes up. That's just 3 providers I just named for you to save a ton of money there. Limited access deals from our team, personal help for your deliverability and scripts. All right. Now the choice is yours. It's $197 or $397. There's no minimum commitment. And if you don't like it, I'll give you a full refund. You don't even need to tell me why, okay? And if you do like it, well, I'm going to give you everything that I just said, and you're going to succeed with cold outreach. It's not an if, it's you are, all right? Now, give it a try. If you're watching this from YouTube, the link down below in the description will give you 7 days for free. Just try it out. If you like it, let's do it. If you don't, no harm, no foul. Now, back to this portion here where I was just mentioning is that you want to have a direct reseller account, right? No legacy panels, no EDU, no SMTP. You want to do domain masking to protect your secondary domain, so stay away from the domain redirect. You also want to have a minimum of 14 days warm up, 30 ideally, okay? unless you're buying aged domains. That's going to be a new concept that we'll talk about shortly. Proper DNS records. You want to make sure you have your DKIM, DMARC, everything set up as it should, and dedicated sending IPs. Public tools aren't the play anymore. Smart Lead and Instantly is slowly transitioning to even something of their own with their smart servers and things like that. But you want to have dedicated sending IPs, because when you're in a public tool and you're mixing around with other users, your cold emails are just going to have worse and worse deliverability and results as time goes on. Now, because of all these factions, you don't even need to be crazy with it. I booked 20 meetings in 2 weeks from just 2,000 contacts, okay? I've generated 240K pipelines in 14 days for another client, and none of this ever happens if you just never hit the inbox. And I learned this the hard way, right? When I quit my restaurant job, I was actually averaging a 31% tip rate. That is 12% more than the next closest person, and outperforming people who've been doing it their whole life. And I was skeptical. I was thinking, oh, cold email's just beginner's luck. It worked well for my web design agency, but how can I do this for others? I didn't like DMs, couldn't afford ads, and I refused to cold call, and realized that if I could put my message directly in front of the right person and it was so good that they had to say yes to it, then it just clicked. That just made the most sense. I went all in, and mistakes happen. I got burned. It all happens. I tried to wing it, paid the price. And now this is how I learned a lesson the hard way, but don't regret it, because it's a valuable lesson. It taught me everything I know to teach you guys today. Now, the last step here is going to be not having a real go-to-market strategy or follow-up system. So one email is never enough, right? Most people don't have an offer for cold outreach. If you're a full-service agency and you're going to cold email with just everything, your entire arsenal, you're already lost, right? If you're leading with a proper service, and I'm going to show you exactly how I build my offer here. If you lead with a proper service, the risk, the value, it just makes it way easier for you to convert that person, because they're not confused. You need to keep it the same throughout all emails. The more and more stuff you add, it needs to be one simple concept on every email, because that helps that person understand. It's like talking to a fourth grade. That's why I always express, make sure your emails are in fourth grade reading level, because they need to instantly understand it, okay? And I don't just rely on cold email alone. Within my system I built in-house, I've combined email to LinkedIn to SMS to voice AI to give me a 70% interested reply to meeting book ratio across one of my campaigns, right? Now, before we get into that, let's talk about the offer. So you want to have an offer that has a tangible outcome, low risk, fast time to result, and low work on their end is what helps you create interest, okay? So tangible outcome, I help marketing agencies average 20 plus meetings per month. Low risk, if we don't hit that, you get your money back. Fast time for results, you get it within 2 to 4 weeks. Low work, we handle everything for you, okay? That's exactly how to develop an offer right there. So think about what you get for you, right? It should be something on making money, ideally. If you don't tie to making money, then saving money or saving time, okay? Low risk, what can help the yes for them become easier, right? That's why it's making offers so good people feel stupid for saying no. Because let's say you do offer a guarantee, and you sign 2 times more clients, and you're going to have to refund some. It's just going to happen. But you ultimately, that gap between where you were before, where you are now, and you're signing more clients, even if it's an extra deal or 2, then you're golden, okay? Fast time for results. You do not want to wait 6 to 8 months to get results, right? But you can give short wins along the way, because sometimes some of those things take time, like SEO. I know takes a very long time, right? It's all about finding a good balance. Or if you are a fitness trainer and you want to get abs, you can't say I'll get abs in 2 weeks, right? But you could give them those wins along the way in low work. Nobody wants to do everything themselves unless it's that type of offer, which is a very rare scenario, but ultimately you want to make it as easy as you can for them, all right? And this is now when we take those functions, put them inside the email. When they reply, we want to obsess the speed to reply, because I promise you guys, it's so important. I keep drilling this into my team. I drill this into you guys, because guess what? Our goal is to respond to leads within 5 to 10 minutes. And if you're not, you're killing your entire deal. I promise you that, because statistically, responding in the first 60 seconds gives you a 396% higher chance to book them in. After 10 to 15 minutes, it drops off by 80%. So why would you actually literally hurt yourself by taking longer to reply when that's simply just your speed can give you 2 times the meetings that you're currently doing right now? And a perfect example is this is a one campaign. When I first started using RevReply, also a partner inside of Agency Ignition, get a huge discount, go check that out in the link description. That first campaign we launched generated 143 positive replies, which was just done from this copy right here, okay? Now, out of those 143 positive replies, we were always told in cold outreach that out of 143, about 1/5 of them should book in. That would be 29 meetings. Why though? Genuinely why? Think about that for a second. If somebody says they're interested and they're actually a fit and you have a good use for your targeting, then it doesn't make any sense to me why they can't be higher than 50%, especially with this, especially with omni-channel outreach. So by averaging a 4-minute response time, we had 98 meetings from just 30 days of running this campaign. So that means 69 percent of them converted into a meeting, right? And for cold email and positive replies, it's more slightly on the unheard of side of it. And it's literally just dedicated to this one statistic, being able to respond in 4 minutes. All right. Now, the proof is also having a nice follow-up system, because I'm not saying that all 143 of these booked first shot. We booked 32 meetings in 30 days for another client, and they generated 38K in revenue. And their deals broke down to 10K, 10K, 7K, 6K, 5K, and same thing, just having fast response time. That's what it is. And this isn't luck. It's follow-up sequences that are designed to address objections, build trust, move people onto the calendar, because people are busy. They need multiple touch points, and you always sell through the thread, guys. Don't go for an email one kill shot unless it's hyper relevant. You need to warm them up and say that, give them information, because time and time again, I can't stress this enough. I've seen so many people get asked questions via cold email, or I ask a question via cold email, and they respond with, yeah, man, that's a great question. Let's address that for you. Let's hop on a meeting. My brother, I do not want to hop on a meeting with you if you can't answer my one question. All right, genuinely, because that's what your prospects are thinking. Okay, so sorry to be that guy to break the bad news, but logistically and seriously, just, you don't have to give them a detailed answer, because they're not going to read that either. Just briefly answer their question. Even if they give you a whole shebang, just briefly answer their question, but don't breeze over it like you're not actually answering it. Just answer it in a very simple format and then pitch your call from there, okay? And if you're not doing this, you're just leaving serious money on the table. And one of our clients, it was a $24,000 deal from just following up with them for over 6 months, all right? It literally came to a point where they showed positive interest in November. I followed up with them all the way through February, and they're like, I like your persistence. Let's get on a call. We went back and forth. In May, they closed. Or sorry, April. April, they closed. All right. So the proof is also just keeping in touch with people over and over. Okay. Now, the biggest picture that people miss is, just fast forward today, these type of campaigns and following these right tips I've given you today is what's allowed me to have a personal 700K pipeline from a single campaign, 98 meetings per month. And again, this is not happening. This wasn't a one freak off accident. Okay. This is something that we consistently do month over month. And it's what allowed me to grow at an exponential level. And it helps because we take this holistic approach. We step back, we explain everything to our client, why we do it, show how it works, and what to expect. So there's no stone left unturned. And if you're struggling with cold email, it's not because you're bad at business, okay? It's just because you haven't been shown the right way yet, all right? And at this point, you guys can see why most cold emails fail. It's never just a copy. It's always going to come down to that great copywriting asset of a great email and offer. But if your setup is wrong, or your leads are off, or you just have an offer that nobody cares about, no amount of personalization or great scripts is going to save you, and the whole campaign will end up falling apart. And that's exactly why I put together this full cold email system. And in the next video, I'm going to break down our exact secret cold email script formula and show you how we actually structure emails to get consistent responses guaranteed. All right, and it all ties together. So from copy to setup to targeting, link is in the description. Go check that out.